Mastering your emotions is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, especially when dealing with toxic people. Often, the instinctive reaction to disrespect or provocation is anger, frustration, or the urge to retaliate. This is precisely what toxic individuals feed on. They thrive when they can manipulate your emotional responses. Stoicism teaches that true strength lies not in controlling others but in controlling your own mind and reactions. When you master your emotions, you stop giving external events the power to disrupt your inner peace. You begin to understand that an insult, or a disrespectful comment is only as impactful as the meaning you assign to it. By observing your feelings without judgment, you create a mental buffer between stimulus and response. This pause allows you to choose a reaction that aligns with your values rather than a reflexive emotional outburst. Over time, practicing this discipline makes you resilient. Toxic people find it increasingly difficult to affect you because their usual triggers no longer work. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond thoughtfully or not at all, which often neutralizes the toxic behavior entirely. The ability to remain calm under pressure is a skill that compounds over time, reinforcing your mental strength and self-respect. This practice also cultivates self-awareness, helping you identify the specific triggers that evoke strong emotions. Once you recognize these triggers, you can prepare mentally to face similar situations without losing control. By internalizing the principle that your peace is your responsibility, you shift the focus from external validation to inner stability. You realize that no one can truly disrespect you unless you allow it through your own reactions. This mindset transforms interactions with difficult people, turning potential conflicts into opportunities for demonstrating poise, patience, and unwavering self-control. The more you exercise emotional mastery, the more you align with the Stoic ideal of being impervious to insults, slights, and provocations. It's not about suppressing emotions but about observing, understanding, and directing them consciously. In practical terms, this might look like taking a deep breath before responding, reframing negative comments as reflections of the other person's character, or simply choosing silence over confrontation. Each instance of restraint strengthens your mental resilience, creating a feedback loop of confidence and composure. Eventually, toxic individuals begin to recognize that their usual tactics no longer affect you, and many will stop attempting to provoke you altogether. This is the quiet power of Stoicism. By mastering your emotional world, you control the way the external world interacts with you, rendering insults ineffective and reclaiming the dignity and respect that come from self-mastery. Responding with calm instead of anger is a fundamental Stoic principle that transforms how you deal with toxic people. Most individuals react impulsively when provoked. They shout, argue, or try to fight back. While this might feel justified in the moment, it often escalates conflict and gives the other person exactly what they want, a reaction that confirms their control over you. Stoicism teaches that you always have a choice in how you respond. By taking a moment to breathe, reflect, and respond thoughtfully rather than reactively, you regain authority over the interaction. This does not mean suppressing your feelings or becoming passive. It means acting from a place of deliberate strength rather than emotional chaos. When you respond calmly, you communicate self-possession and confidence, which are often far more powerful than loud words or aggressive behavior. Toxic individuals are usually skilled at detecting weaknesses or vulnerabilities. A quick flash of anger or defensiveness signals to them that they are succeeding. In contrast, calmness creates a barrier. They realize their attempts to provoke you are ineffective, and their control over the situation diminishes. Practically, responding calmly can take many forms: a measured tone, a neutral statement, or simply choosing silence when words are unnecessary. Each of these actions reflects mastery over your emotions and demonstrates that your dignity is not negotiable. This approach also protects your mental energy. When you react with anger, you expend energy feeding the conflict, often at the cost of your peace of mind and focus. Choosing calm allows you to conserve energy for productive and meaningful pursuits, reinforcing the Stoic ideal of valuing what truly matters. Over time, practicing calm responses cultivates a sense of inner stability that becomes second nature. You begin to notice that external provocations have less and less influence over your state of mind. Even in heated situations, you maintain clarity and can make decisions aligned with your long-term values instead of momentary impulses. Moreover, calm responses have the secondary effect of inspiring respect. People, even those who initially acted with hostility, begin to recognize the power in restraint and measured behavior. They see that disrespect does not earn leverage over you. This silent strength often disarms toxic individuals, reducing the frequency of confrontations and diminishing their attempts to manipulate or intimidate you. In essence, calmness is a strategic tool, a reflection of mastery over yourself, and a visible demonstration of the Stoic philosophy in action. By responding deliberately and with composure, you reclaim power from the toxic dynamics around you, setting boundaries that are respected without the need for conflict or aggression. This creates a protective shield around your mental and emotional well-being, making you increasingly immune to the disruptive influence of negativity. Recognizing that disrespect reflects the other person, not you, is a central Stoic insight that shifts your perspective and frees you from unnecessary suffering. Toxic individuals often attempt to provoke, belittle, or demean others because of their own insecurities, fears, or unresolved issues. When someone insults or disrespects you, it rarely has anything to do with your value, intelligence, or capabilities. It is a mirror of their own inner turmoil. Understanding this is crucial because it allows you to detach emotionally from their actions. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of separating what is within your control from what is not. You cannot control other people's words, behaviors, or attitudes, but you can control how you interpret and respond to them. By internalizing the principle that disrespect says more about the aggressor than about you, you remove the power of their actions to affect your peace of mind. This perspective encourages emotional resilience, as you stop taking every insult personally and instead view it objectively. For example, when someone criticizes you harshly or attempts to undermine your confidence, rather than feeling hurt, you can observe it with a sense of detachment. Their words are a reflection of their character, not a judgment of yours. This mindset also reduces reactive behavior. When you stop personalizing disrespect, you are less likely to respond with anger, defensiveness, or hostility, which often fuels the toxic cycle. Instead, you maintain composure and act from a position of rationality and self-respect. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain unaffected by negativity, allowing you to navigate challenging social dynamics without losing your equilibrium. Recognizing the reflection of the other person's inner state also cultivates empathy. You begin to understand that toxic behavior often stems from insecurity, fear, or unmet needs. This doesn't excuse the behavior, but it helps you maintain a balanced perspective and avoid unnecessary emotional escalation. In practical terms, this might mean taking a mental step back during conflicts, reminding yourself that the disrespect says more about their struggles than about your worth, and choosing to focus your energy on what you can influence: your actions, mindset, and values. This approach builds a powerful internal shield against manipulation and emotional disturbance. Additionally, by not reacting emotionally to disrespect, you subtly communicate that your peace and dignity are non-negotiable. Toxic people quickly realize that their usual tactics are ineffective, reducing their attempts to provoke you. This quiet strength demonstrates a mastery over self that is central to Stoic philosophy, the recognition that your value is inherent and independent of external validation or approval. In essence, when you understand that disrespect reflects the other person, you reclaim your power, maintain clarity, and protect your mental and emotional well-being. This insight transforms interactions, diminishes the influence of negativity, and reinforces the Stoic ideal of inner freedom and self-mastery. Setting firm boundaries silently and letting your actions speak louder than words is a powerful Stoic strategy for dealing with toxic people. Toxic individuals often test limits, attempting to manipulate, provoke, or control you. One of the most effective ways to protect yourself is not by arguing or explaining endlessly, but by clearly demonstrating through your behavior what is acceptable and what is not. Stoicism teaches that external approval is not necessary for inner peace. What matters is your own integrity and the consistency of your actions. By establishing clear personal boundaries, you communicate respect for yourself and demand the same from others. Importantly, these boundaries do not need to be announced dramatically or confrontationally. Actions inherently convey your limits far more effectively than words. For example, if someone repeatedly interrupts or disrespects you, calmly disengaging from the conversation or redirecting your attention shows that you will not tolerate their behavior without creating conflict. This silent assertion communicates strength, self-respect, and emotional stability. Over time, toxic people recognize that their usual tactics no longer succeed, because you consistently uphold your boundaries without being reactive or emotionally volatile. Stoicism emphasizes the discipline of action over words, and this principle aligns perfectly with the strategy of silent boundaries. When you act consistently according to your values and limits, you create a predictable framework for interactions. Others, including toxic individuals, quickly learn that crossing your boundaries has consequences, not as punishment, but as a natural result of your unwavering commitment to your principles. Maintaining boundaries silently also preserves your mental energy. Engaging in constant arguments, explanations, or defenses against toxic behavior is exhausting and often ineffective. Instead, demonstrating your limits through actions allows you to protect your well-being without wasting emotional resources. This method also reinforces self-respect, as you no longer compromise your values or patience for the sake of approval or temporary peace. Furthermore, boundaries serve as a guide not only for how others treat you but also for how you treat yourself. They define the space in which you operate confidently, make decisions aligned with your principles, and maintain control over your reactions. By practicing silent, consistent boundary setting, you cultivate a subtle yet unshakable presence that communicates strength and self-control. This approach prevents toxic people from eroding your confidence or provoking unnecessary conflict. It is a practical embodiment of the Stoic idea that your power lies in your own choices, behaviors, and character, rather than the opinions or actions of others. Ultimately, silent boundaries and purposeful actions protect your peace, command respect, and establish an environment where your integrity and composure are evident to all. This strategy makes it increasingly difficult for toxic individuals to influence or intimidate you, reinforcing a life guided by self-mastery, dignity, and clarity. Focusing on what you can control and ignoring what you cannot is the essence of Stoic resilience and the ultimate strategy for dealing with toxic people. Most conflicts with difficult individuals arise because we expend energy trying to change their behavior, seeking their approval, or reacting emotionally to their provocations. Stoicism teaches that this approach is futile and self-defeating. The only domain truly within your control is your own mind, your thoughts, emotions, decisions, and actions. By directing your attention exclusively to what you can influence, you conserve mental energy, protect your peace, and cultivate a sense of empowerment that toxic people cannot undermine. Recognizing the limits of your control allows you to disengage from unnecessary stress. You cannot force someone to respect you, acknowledge your worth, or act with decency. Attempting to do so often leads to frustration and emotional turbulence. Instead, focusing on your own responses ensures that you remain composed, dignified, and aligned with your values regardless of external chaos. This perspective changes the dynamics of interactions with toxic individuals. When you stop reacting to their attempts to provoke or manipulate you, you deprive them of the satisfaction they seek. Their insults, criticisms, or manipulations become inconsequential because you have chosen to invest your energy elsewhere. Practically, this means making a conscious decision not to internalize negativity. For instance, when faced with disrespect, remind yourself that the insult is a reflection of their character, not yours, and that your emotional state is yours to govern. You may choose silence, calmly remove yourself from the situation, or respond in a measured, deliberate way that reflects your principles. Over time, this discipline strengthens your emotional resilience and reinforces self-mastery. By consistently focusing on your own actions and maintaining composure, you build a mental framework that is resistant to the disruptions of toxic behavior. This approach also fosters clarity of thought. When your mind is not consumed by anger, resentment, or the need to control others, you can think strategically, make better decisions, and maintain a sense of equilibrium even in challenging social environments. Moreover, concentrating on what you can control cultivates self-respect. You demonstrate to yourself that your peace, values, and integrity are non-negotiable and that you are responsible for maintaining them. This internal authority is far more powerful than any external validation or respect, making you inherently less vulnerable to toxicity. Ultimately, by focusing on what you can control and ignoring what you cannot, you live a life aligned with Stoic principles, grounded, rational, and resilient. Toxic people lose their influence over you because you refuse to invest in their drama or react to their provocations. You create a space of invulnerability around your mind and emotions, where negativity bounces off without diminishing your clarity or confidence. This mindset ensures that you remain unshakable, self-reliant, and in full control of your inner world, embodying the true Stoic ideal of freedom from the opinions and actions of others.